Hello out there, and thank you so much for joining us on this special BSing the NLL with OJ the Dude, the new Tech Lax channel entrepreneur. And you had quite the weekend up there in Calgary, didn't you?
Yeah, double header win for the Calgary Roughnecks.
Yeah, and so you guys played Saskatchewan first, who you guys were tied in the East with, and how did that go for you?
Tied in the West, but
I did it again.
oh well. But yeah, we did quite well after. Hold on, got the wrong email turned up. Yeah, so it was 2-1 after the first quarter for Sask, with Calgary's first goal coming from Zach Curry. No surprise there.
Definitely
Yeah,
not. He's been a very reliable part of your team.
yeah, and then for Sask, we got R. Keenan on power play, and then M Matthews.
Yeah, Mark Matthews and Keenan, those are two of their
Yep.
big goal scorers. And whenever you're kind of a man down, it's hard. There's so much talent in this league. You gotta, it's tough on anybody. But yeah, so then you guys, it ends up 3-3 at the half.
Yeah. So with that, we had T Cook, aka Cookie, on the power play, and Jesse King. They both scored one each, and then Dinsdale on for Sask.
Yeah, so then we're going into the third quarter.
Yeah, and Calgary came back swinging in the third with, in order, these goals are T Pace, Zach Courier, Eli Salama, Hayden Dixon, and Shane Simpson. So
It,
they came back swinging with five.
yeah, that was crazy. I mean, that was just five in a row. And Saskatchewan has a pretty lethal offense. So for you guys to be able to get that many unanswered goals and get that run, and that's something Calgary's kind of been guilty of themselves a few times this year. But you guys really are turning it around and coming on really hard at it seems like the right time.
Yeah, no, and they only had the one goal by B Kid the third. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, an amazing third quarter for Calgary.
yeah, amazing for Calgary. And then in the fourth, T Pace got two, and Cookie got three.
Yeah. Again,
I Go ahead.
Cookie was really he was on fire this game, and I mean you really saw the runs were put together, and Calgary did not let Saskatchewan, other than that they had the two goals in the first quarter. There was no other consecutive goals.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Sask only in the fourth quarter they only scored twice, and that's how we were able to keep them at bay for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, and so this was your first game back in the Rough House, correct?
Yes, it was after being on bed rest with my ACL surgery.
You're feeling better there. You sat a little higher up. You sent me a picture. I seen you were a little farther up in the stands.
I was a little bit higher up. I was actually in the wheelchair section, but that actually worked out pretty okay because it made it easier for me to run into friends of mine who go to games and to
Nice.
see people. Yeah.
And your fun facts for the game?
Oh yes, my fun facts. So with 6 assists in the night, we got Jesse King reached reaches 200 assists of his career.
Amazing job. He has been quite the leader for that team.
Yeah, and then for Calgary, the loose ball champ rides again, of course. I'm talking about my buddy Zach Courier with a total of 16 for the night.
Yeah.
16 loose balls, Greg. Can you imagine picking up that many?
And with the goals he's had, he is just wow. He has been really something on that team.
Yeah, and even if his brother Josh doesn't get any goals, he usually still manages to rack up at least 2 or 3 assists a
Yeah,
game.
he does. There's getting a ton of points out of the Courier brothers. I mean, they're getting close to
Yeah,
6, 7 points a night out of them.
yeah, and something interesting that I didn't put on the sheet here was after the game on Friday night, there was actually a turf party for season ticket holders.
Oh, so how was that?
That was actually really good. The people, because I still had to sit in the wheelchair section with my walker,
Yeah.
they were, the Saladome staff were amazing, of course, and they grabbed a wheelchair and took me down a private elevator down to the floor and
Oh,
wheeled me right to the floor.
so you got a little VIP treatment.
I did, and because I was right on the other side of the tunnel when the players came back,
Yeah.
I got to I got to see a couple of my friends briefly after the game who were on the Roughnecks.
Oh, cool. Who'd you get to catch up with?
Well, Jeff Courier, who had a lot of penalty minutes again, I gave him a little bit of heck because I was like, dude, you need to stay out of the penalty box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff Cornwall, sorry. Yeah.
Cornwall. Yes, I was gonna say
Yeah.
he had four penalty minutes.
Yeah, 4 or 5, I think it was. Something like that.
Yeah,
But
he
yeah,
was. Yeah, Cornwall had four penalty minutes and an assist. But I mean, Tanner
yeah.
Cookie, wow, 4 goals on 5 shots. Wow.
Yeah, he definitely came out of his own. Like Calgary, I was watching another interview where they said this was the guy we drafted. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. He looked amazing out there. Tyler Pace did what Tyler Pace does, and again,
yeah,
the Courier brothers. You look, Josh didn't have any points, this night, which you can't have him every night, but his brother more than
yeah.
made up for it, having 5 points with his 2 goals and 3 assists.
Yeah, and actually, I have an interview coming up with Zach, so I'm actually going to try and get both Carrier brothers on a video for my channel, actually.
Ooh, and that will be
Fingers
on.
crossed.
That's right. So anybody who hasn't seen it yet, it's OJ the Dude, Techlax. We will have links from our channel going over to his shortly. I did not get a chance to put it up. We kind of decided to do this last minute live thing. I'm trying to get Owen a little bit more training with these lives, so we're showing him how things work a little bit. And it's been a blast, really. I really enjoyed doing this. This is one of my
Yeah,
favorite
no, it's
parts.
been
Is
awesome.
Salama again with another goal.
Yeah, Eli. So yeah, in the third quarter, third quarter ended. Calgary, T Pace, Courier, Zach Courier to be precise, Eli, Hayden Dixon, and Shane Simpson.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
5 goal run with Sask only getting one that quarter.
yeah, that's crazy. And I see Del Bianco had our Sask had 50 shots, and they
Yep.
only had 6 goals.
Yep.
So we got 44 saves, another big night for Del Bianco. And Bouquet, who's usually a very good goalie, looked to struggle. I mean, not
Yeah.
struggle. Calgary had some great shots, but 32 shots when you look at it, and Bouquet's been on fire.
Yeah. No, Bouquet was definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, he's good. And so with that, the standings kind of shuffled a little bit in your favor. And as we look at the standings here, we see
As
now.
of Calgary is in 2, only
Absolutely.
behind San Diego, who we won once
I
against.
was going to say, I believe that one loss in their record there, that came from the Roughnecks team. And actually, though,
That dude, yeah.
when you looked at it last week, there was like really 3 or 4 teams tied for that like second, third position. And now you see with the winning percentage, Calgary's really pulled ahead. This was a huge weekend for them. And even bigger thing was really the way they played against Colorado. I mean, wow, did they play great against Colorado?
Yeah, no, they did not give up on Colorado, even though they were tired from the night before, going full out.
Yeah,
Colorado was a little bit closer, but even when Colorado got to go on their goal run, Calgary fought back and walked away with the W.
yeah. I mean, and when you look at it, as you're looking at the score sheet, they came
Yeah,
out full lion, and that's something Calgary had struggled
yeah,
with. But I mean, really, that 5 goal run at the beginning, it just shows you how important to get those those initial runs are.
Yeah. But yeah, literally Calgary ended the first quarter with 5-0.
Yeah. And that's a huge change. Calgary, even when they're playing great, they usually don't kind of get off to that run. But as you see, Tyler Pace rounding it out, 2 goals in the beginning. Josh Courier 2 goals, Taylor no goals for Colorado in the first. That is a huge statement. I mean, because you've got Zed
Yeah.
Williams, and there's so much offensive firepower on that Colorado team. So I mean, props to Del Bianco and the D there playing a great job.
Yeah, no. That was a very well fought first period.
Yeah, and then I mean, really, they didn't relent going into the second quarter too. I mean, going up to the second half, the game was still going, fairly lopsided Calgary's way.
Yeah. Yeah, with third quarter ended 13-6 with Cookie getting the only goal for Calgary. Colorado got 4 goals. In order, we got T. Thompson, E. Downey, my buddy Reese Dutch, who used to play for Calgary, and E. McLean.
Yeah, Eli McLaughlin or McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. There
Yeah,
we go.
yeah, that's one
Hard
of
one
those
to
funny
pronounce
ones.
there.
I worked
Yeah.
with a guy, and we used to call him McLaughlin. That's the only reason I know how to pronounce it. It's
Uh,
McLaughlin. But yeah, so I mean, but at that point, and we see this happen a lot when teams kind of take their foot off the gas pedal. It allows that other team to come back in.
yeah.
And I mean, props to the Colorado Mammoth defense and their goalkeeping. Really, Calgary only had 2 goals, in the second half, which
Yeah.
after the way that first half went, never would have predicted it. But Colorado was just a little too late.
Yeah, no, totally. It was a little too late, like you said, because Calgary had already had that roaring start at the beginning of the game, which we've said before. It is kind of the reverse of what Calgary usually does. They usually don't show up for the first half and come out for the second half.
Yeah, but I mean, it must have been they were all warmed up from playing the night before.
Yeah, no, it was a really good win because now we're second overall in the standings in the West.
All right. And then for the top stuff you've got on there, you've got some pretty important facts. I'm going to let you read who the big goal scorer was there with the first, your man, Josh
Yeah,
Courier.
hold on, just give me 1 second.
Oh, you're good. Take your time.
All right, yeah, top goal getter of the night was Josh Courier with 4 goals, and for Colorado, also with 4 goals, we got Eli McLeod again.
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. There we
Yes.
go. And top assists of the night go to Cookie for Calgary with 4 assists. I just love that nickname, Cookie.
Well, and it's kind of funny. So he had, 4 goals the nights before and then 4 assists the next night.
Yeah. And for Colorado, we have Zed Williams with 3.
Yeah.
And with total 8 loose balls, we have my buddy Eli Salama, which the video of me interviewing him is up now on my channel. Yeah.
Anybody who hasn't had a chance to watch it, it's up there. It's a
Go
phenomenal
watch
interview.
it.
Yes, great
Yeah.
interview.
Yeah. And then we have Tim Edwards. Let me see. Yeah. And for Colorado, we have Tim Edwards with 1.
Yeah. And then Calgary had 55 shots on both of Colorado's goalies because Colorado
Yep.
obviously was, a little struggling. We'll look at their goalie stats later and see how that kind of broke down. But
Yeah.
here's a fun fact you had was that with 8 loose balls, Curtis Manning reached the 700th of his career.
Yep.
I love that fact. I love how you pay so much attention to that loose ball stat. It's something I pay attention to more now. And you see,
Yeah.
and that was watching the Halifax Rochester game. That Halifax is wow, they're good, but Rochester put them down.
Yeah.
And then here comes one of my favorite fun facts of every night. With 3 assists, Christian Del Bianco put $1,000 towards at Kids Sports Calgary. Huge shout
Yeah.
out to him and everybody for making that happen. So his season total is now 7,500 that he has donated. Wow. And
Yeah.
I've been talking with that with Rodney a little bit too. That is such an advantage you guys have, having him be able to whip the ball down the field. Like the way him and Simpson and Courier and the way he just like knows where those guys are in transition is so impressive.
Yeah, like literally when he has the ball, and I see a guy halfway down the field, I'm like, okay, watch this. He's gonna pinpoint to the guy on the breakaway.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. It's so cool.
Yeah, and Delves is a very talented goalie, and 90% of the time, th- that pass is completed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how lethally accurate they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so if we look at the breakdown, so Carlson ended up with 21 saves. He played the second half, and it definitely was a much better, for him. Dylan Ward not his best performance, 9 goals against, 21 saves. I mean, he still had 21 saves, and if you look at it, that's the same amount of saves Carlson had. So you could really see that the defense for Colorado did play a much different second half.
Yeah, no, it was a crazy game. I got a little bit nervous near the end because, well, as we discussed, Colorado got a few good goals.
Yeah. Yeah, they did, and they were really making a move, and that's the problem with so much talent and offense that they have. It's like, oh man, that's a team you really don't want to be coming down that hard on you at the end of the end of the
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
So who we playing this week?
So for Calgary, they are playing Vancouver in Vancouver on Saturday 17th. I will actually be at that game in Vancouver.
That is
So,
super exciting. So you have kind of run off with this. As soon as you found out you were starting your own show, you started lining up all kinds of interviews. You got yourself hooked up with Vancouver, and now you're going to have a bunch of interviews with some Vancouver players as well.
yes, I over the next few weeks, I am lining currently in the process of lining up a few interviews with some Vancouver Warriors.
So stay tuned to the channel. Everybody, make sure you find
Yeah.
OJ the Dude on Instagram, and also Tech Lax on Instagram. And that's where you can stay tuned to make sure you see all the interviews. He already has 2 up. We have, and those were great interviews. I love the way you ask. And actually, you sent me a picture, and I meant to grab it. I was going to put your PlayStation head up on the
Oh
screen.
yeah.
Well, you'll have to do a little review video of that.
Yeah, I will for sure once it gets here. My the buddy who did it is actually sending it out this week. So
That's awesome. That is a very
yeah,
fresh looking head. I just love the way it's so clean. The buttons on there with the square and the X and the triangle. That was cool.
yeah, I know. And a buddy of mine that's here in Calgary that plays for Vancouver, he is gonna look for a blue shaft for me
Oh,
in his collection.
sweet.
Yeah, like a dark blue shaft to go with it. So
That'll be pretty sweet looking. Now, I don't know if you had a chance to watch my Firewolves game, but the score looked a lot closer than the game was. We got our butts kicked at the beginning by New York, and then we kind of came and made it look like a game. But yeah, I tell
yeah,
you,
I was wondering about that.
yeah, I tell you, the West looks good. The top of the East with Buffalo, Rochester, and Toronto looks
Mhm.
really good. Rochester redeemed themselves against Halifax. Toronto had a very tough game though. I mean, they barely snuck out the win against Georgia, and Georgia
Yeah,
just keeps staying one away. And you would think, one of
uh,
these days Lyle's going to get it, and you would. I don't know. It's so tough
yeah,
because they just don't seem to have that extra firepower to give them over that hump. They need a couple other guys to start stepping up, and they got to get more than 10 goals.
yeah, for sure. Georgia, yeah, Georgia's one of those teams where they have the talent, they just need to execute a bit more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Now here's one of my favorite stats about Calgary. When you look at the 87 goals against, so
yeah,
Saskatchewan's got 70 goals against. but they've also only got 86. You guys have got to have one of the best goal differentials with that, 109 goals for and 87 goals against, because as you look through the rest of them, you guys are, yeah, anywhere that's close other than, Toronto, but they had that 22-14 game, which kind of distorted things a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh man. So what can we expect to see from OJ the dude this week?
Uh I have so I'm gonna be releasing starting this week. It's gonna be one video a week, and I haven't decided which one of my two interviews it's gonna be this week. So stay tuned for that. I just reached 61 followers on Instagram, so that's amazing. And my birthday is in a few weeks, so for my birthday from family, I might, instead of having business cards made up, I'm gonna hopefully get enough birthday money to get stickers made up.
Oh, sweet. You are
Yeah.
that is so cool. If anybody has wants to make any stickers for OJ the dude Texlax or has any sweet ideas on where he could get them, make sure we send him anything. And one thing that I know is if anybody has any questions, you would be more than glad to open them or answer them.
Yeah, totally.
And
Totally, for sure.
all right, well, it is way past my bedtime tonight as normal, so I'm gonna say goodbye for now. But we're gonna have to. Well, we'll talk about this afterwards, real quick. But we'll say
All
goodbye for now, and then we'll talk about when we're gonna get your other two videos up.
right, sounds good.
All right, thanks so much, Owen. Nice talking to you again.